Chapter 10. The next day, everyone in the family woke up early to have their sargi, as both men and women, young and old, followed the tradition created many generations ago by Vikram's grandparents. It was extra special because Dia had finally woken up from her coma. Of course, they did not wake her up to take part in the ritual, but the knowledge of her getting better made the ritual extra special. Everyone enjoyed their sargi, happily chatting away. All the staff members who were fasting had also come along to take part in this ritual. The entire mansion was filled with happiness and laughter. It was already 7 o'clock by the time they were done, and everyone had gone back to their respective rooms, some to do their work, some to the gym, and, well, some to meet someone they have long been waiting to meet. And they were none other than Varun and Gautam. Arjun knew that they would want to spend some time with her, and he did not want to intrude or interfere with their time. And also, he knew that Varun did not approve of his relationship with Diya, because he thought that Arjun was not good enough for his sister. And he made sure Arjun knew of the same. Arjun went back to his room to get some work done, while Varun and Gautam went to Diya's room to see if she was awake. And when they approached the room, they heard the voices of their father and uncle happily chatting away. The both shook their heads, smiling and sighing at the same time. Varun entered the room, saying, or rather shouting, चलो चलो बहुत हो गया. ये हम दोनों भाइयों का अपने बहन के साथ टाइम स्पेंड करने का वक्त है. आप दोनों ओल्डीज बाद में आ जाना, हमारे बाद, समझे आप दोनों? चलिए बाहर निकलिए. While Varun laughed at his antics. Ashok and Abhijit looked at them with a stink eye, albeit with happiness and mirth on their faces. Diya was laughing, looking at their antics. Of course, she didn't know who the two young men were, but she knew that they were part of this family, and that they were here yesterday when she had woken up. The laughs died down, and a soft, serene smile settled on her face, looking at the four men bickering. She was reminded of Arjun coming into the room this morning. She had woken up early and couldn't fall asleep when she heard someone's footsteps coming towards her room. Out of instinct, she closed her eyes and pretended to be asleep. She heard the door of her room being opened, and someone came close to her bed, without turning the lights on, like they were doing it for a long time. She could feel this person come closer, and she instinctively knew that it was Arjun. She didn't know how or why, but she did. She just felt it in her heart. She felt him come close to her face and kiss her on the forehead, his lips lingering there for a few moments. She held her breath for a moment before relaxing and releasing her breath. He got up and sat on the bed beside her, holding her hand in his own and caressing her face with the other. She could feel him bent down, close to her face. She closed her eyes tightly, almost in anticipation, only for him to whisper in her ear, I know you aren't sleeping, love. And she could almost see the smirk on his face. She opened one eye to look at him, only to find him looking down at her, with a smile that almost looked like a smirk. She opened both of her eyes and pouted, asking, How did you know? To which Arjun just smiled, cocked his head to one side, and said, Well, there isn't anything I do not know about you, my wife. Diya just stared at him, almost lost in his eyes, which held something that she couldn't decipher. She shook her head, bringing her attention back to his face, smirked and said, Does anyone even fall for those lines anymore? Arjun just shook his head, smiling, and said, Well, as long as it works on you. And they both burst out laughing. He got up from the bed, turned on the lights, and came back to help her sit up. He sat beside her, and they spent an hour talking until Indira sent for someone to call Arjun for the sargi. Both of them looked at each other and realized that they had been talking for almost an hour and didn't even realize it. They both looked at each other, smiling. He got up to help her lie back down and told her that he would come back later and that Varun and Gautam would probably come to spend some time with her in the morning. After the sargi, Diya smiled at him and nodded. He left the room after kissing her on her forehead, and Diya went back to sleep with a smile on her beautiful face, with the thoughts of how her life was before the accident lingering in her mind. She woke up an hour later when two nurses came into her room to help her brush her teeth, give her a sponge bath, and change her clothes. Both the nurses, whose names she got to know as Mangla and Sharda, left the room after they were done. After a while, Ashok and Abhijit came to her rooms with breakfast. They fed her breakfast while talking about random things. Once the breakfast was done, the three of them sat down to talking about their favorite sweets, while Varun and Gautam barged in and started bickering with Abhijit and Ashok, making her laugh louder. She was enjoying the scene before her when she realized that she wished she could remember her past and her bond with all these people who seemed to love her no matter what. It made her heart warm and strengthened her resolve to get better and stronger sooner. Ashok and Abhijit sighed dramatically muttering about them becoming old and nobody listening to them any longer, and looked at Dia with a notorious smile on their faces. They winked at her and left the room, leaving her laughing again. Varun and Gautam scowled at the retreating figures of the two older men, as if they had wasted a lot of their precious time. They shook their heads, straightened up, and sat on the bed, their faces brimming with nervousness, anticipation, and excitement. Well, that's all for this chapter, ladies and gentlemen. We will see how Varun and Gautam bond with Diya, and so much more in the next chapter. So stay tuned, and please do leave your feedback in the comment section below. Thank you so much for all your support. Have a happy and successful week ahead. Stay healthy, stay safe. Until next week. Bye bye.